Hey guys, welcome back to Rebecca's Corner. Tonight we're going to do a few more Easter crafts together. We are going to be making a few of these. These are those cute little pom-pom baby chicks. These are adorable, super easy to make. Then we're going to make these super cute little yarn bunnies. And I've got one fence made. I'm going to show you how I made another one. The points are not perfect, but that's what I was going for. I didn't want to make it perfect. So we're going to paint this. We're going to do white. And then we're going to show you how we glued it together, which is pretty simple. You just space it out and then put two regular size popsicle sticks on the back of it and glue it. So we're going to do that one together. We're also going to make our bunny wreath wrapped in yarn. I did get some of this like fuzzy furry like yarn. I bought it on Amazon. It comes in a pack of 5. I'm hoping that's enough. If not, we'll just buy more. But so we're gonna do all that tonight. That is the first. I'm sorry. Tonight makes the first multiple crafts I've done in one video, so I'm hoping this is not too long. Alright, so I'm going to move the camera around and we're going to get started. Okay. So I've already laid out my next little baby chick. Let me show you something though. So it came all connected together. I've already made 2 of them. This is the 3rd one. So they came together in these pre-packaged little parts. You just pull that apart and you have another baby chick. And then this is how the rabbits looked. Just a completely like open pack. I didn't really like how this one was packaged, but that's okay. So we're gonna get started. I am using hot glue. If you are very keen on not burning yourself, I do not recommend hot glue. I'm pretty accident prone, but hot glue is probably like the best way for me to like glue anything together. So I'm gonna use hot glue. You don't have to. That is your preference. So I like fluffing at the head first because, well, it's just a preference. Then I'm going to hold it and I'm going to put a glob of glue right on here. And one little eye, hold it down for a second. And come over right beside of it. You're going to put another dab. And push that one down. So we have eyes on our baby chick. So you got the 2 googly eyes. This is how the nose comes. It's just a piece of felt. What I do is I fold it in half and I squish it a little bit, and then I'm going to put glue along the fold. And then we're just going to stick it on here and kind of hold it. Okay, So we got his little wings glued on. So I'm going to turn it around and glue his little tail right about here. Okay, got his tail. Here he is, our cute little baby chick, tail and all. Alright, let's set him over with the other one I've made. So, like I said, I've made 3. That's my 3rd one. The first one I made did not have 2 eyes, so that one unfortunately only has 1 eye. So, decided not to show you all that one because it is a disaster. And my little table is a little bit of a mess, so let me get it vacuumed a little bit here. Okay, I got that from Amazon, by the way. I love that thing. Okay, so we're gonna make us another little bunny. I'm not gonna make all of those baby chicks on camera, by the way. Okay, so you get a small ball of yarn and a little bit larger one for this is the bunny. And then this little pack, I like how they did this with the eyes, the nose, and the ears. They're all separate. So we're going to open this up. It's also resealable, which I love that part too. Take it out. One inner piece. One inner ear. That goes to my next one. And 1, 2. Alright, then we're going to do 2 eyes. And 1 pink little nose. Okay. So I think for this one, I also did the eyes and nose first. So I put a little dot of glue around the eyes. Set it on here and kind of like push it in a little bit. I put too much glue, but that's okay. I don't have too much glue, then not enough. So 2 little eyes, and then the nose will go down here. So there's the nose. Okay, we got the eyes and the nose. So then we're going to put glue on the pink part, which is the inner ear. And try to center it as much as possible. Kind of hard to do, but do the best you can. Okay. Guava glue. Okay. Glue it on as centered as you can. It's not perfect, it doesn't matter. Then figure out where you want your ears. And the ears I'm gluing one at a time on, just so it's easier. So that one. I'm going to try to make it even. About right there. Hold, and I'm going to add If you get some glue that came out back here, that's perfectly fine, because this is what's pushed up against that. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'm going to add some to the ears as well, so the ears are really in there. And you just want to push it together. Okay, bunny number 2 is done. Isn't it cute? Oh, I just love it. Okay, so got 2 of each of those. Okay, now for the other part, the next part. It's going to be gluing our somehow I've glue all over this thing. It's okay. It's going to be gluing our little fence together, and I do not measure exactly how far apart I put them. So what I've been doing is, I don't know if you can see the little measurements there. I've just been putting one on like the size part, like the inch part, and then the next open spot. So, and I'm trying to push them as flat up against the edge as I can to try to make them as even as I possibly can. Probably about half an inch or a little bit more in between the two if I had to make an estimated guess. Okay, and these are just the regular popsicle sticks here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a dab of glue. Try to make it as straight as possible. If it's not straight, it's okay. Okay, so as you can see, I've got this bottom part glued. I'll do the same thing for up here. A little hard for you guys to see. Let me try to a little bit. Okay. And try to make this one as straight as possible. If it's not completely straight, that's fine. Alright, then we have our second little fence that we need to paint. Okay, so I've made 2 of these, and it's going on a mantle. So I think I'm just going to make these 2, and instead of making something else into a wreath, I think I'm going to just leave it as in like a flower display. And leave that, which we'll build that together here in a few minutes. So let's paint these white. Which I didn't show you how I made these, but I just used a pair of old scissors and cut the points, and then cut the circle pieces off on the bottom, and then I sanded them. Of course, they're not 100% straight or 100% even, which is fine with me. You know, I wanted them to look like rustic and kind of like old, but freshly painted for spring, because in spring you do spring cleaning. So when you clean, a lot of times people paint because it's warmer, and you can open up the windows and vent the house when you paint, or freshen up everything, make it look pretty. So I'm not going to distress these, but I just wanted them to look a little like, I guess, old and repurposed. And I think we kind of got that vibe going on, since my points are not perfectly straight, perfectly lined. Kind of hard to be a perfectionist and a crafter. So I am just one of those things, which of course it's crafting. Crafting is my thing. And I'm not adding like a ton of paint to these, so it kind of just gives that old like faded vibe anyways. So you can still see like the wood part in these, which is perfectly fine with me. Okay, now moving on to the part I've been excited about the most. My bunny. So, I'm going to move some stuff over a little bit. Try to give myself a little bit more room. Okay. So, as you can see, this is the tinsel bunny. I do not like the tinsel. I'm not using tinsel. Sorry, I forgot I was not recording. I have pulled all of these little fine pieces off of here, my tinsel bunny, and I have started removing the tinsel from it. But you can do this just by cutting it. I'll try to, pull it off of the biggest chunks as I can. But sometimes you just run into issues and don't like to come off. Then you end up having to cut it. Okay, I try to give you a little bit of a better view, but not sure it worked. I haven't exactly figured out where I need to put my camera yet, so bear with me as this is just a work in progress. Not sure if I'm going to keep that part either, but for now, we will, just to be sure. Like I said, we are just removing all this annoying tinsel. And since it is being difficult, we're just going to come up through here and just start cutting. If we can get this ear removed. Okay. And there's the tinsel off my bunny. Makes a giant mess. Still don't know about that part. Okay. So now we're going to cut. Well, it might not even cut it. It might just be. As we cut, it's just one of those easy pieces of string. Okay, so we've removed all the tinsel. Now we're going to remove all of this, like the center here, because I don't want that. I want this open here. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, taking my handy dandy little wire cutters. I think that's what they are. Wire cutters, wire clippers. I think they're wire cutters. And cut this as close as I can to that bar. Okay. Oh, we missed one. Cut that part out. Okay. So now we got the centerpiece, and I'm going to cut this part out as well. Here. And just you can use an old pair of scissors to cut this as well. So this is what I want it to look like, and we still have to remove this part. So it looks like he's just going to have big cheeks. I'm still not sure if I want to leave this part and just use these. We'll see. We're just getting in here as close as we can and cutting. Alrighty. Okay. So let's try cut the inside ones off. on using these little pieces that we're holding the tinsel on. Okay, so I've chopped these as close as I can get them on the inside. I might have to go back with scissors, but I don't know, I think I'm going to cut this part out as well and leave these two for my bunny face. Yeah, that's what I want. Exactly what I want. So we'll just keep cutting away. Okay, and I'm going to go back and fix the pieces that did not cut very well over here. It is a little harder to do when they make every tool available to right-handers and pretty much only to right-handers. So, alright, we're going to cut these extra pieces off over here on the sides as well. I don't want those on here. Now I can also cut this with scissors. It would probably take a lot longer and a lot more effort, but it is possible because I've done it before. Now you could have left that plastic on the wreath, all the frames on the inside if you wanted it, and just wrapped the bunny head. Like, not just the outside, just wrap the entire thing. I didn't want to do that. One, I don't think I have enough yarn for that. And two, I wanted mine to be open in the center. Okay. I don't think these pieces here cause any issues. If they do, we'll just cut them off. Okay. So, I'm going to get me one of my things of yarn. Open it up. You can connect this in more than one way. You can tie it on, you can glue it on, or you can use a zip tie and zip tie it. I think I'm just going to tie it. A cute little knot on the side. And then we're going to take our yarn and wrap it around. Now, to tell you the truth, I did not think I was getting the furry yarn when I ordered it. I wanted the more chunky yarn, but I think the furry yarn would just make it look more like realistically bunny style. So, okay, so we're just gonna wrap this and cover up the orange, the gray as much as possible. And we'll be back later. Alright, so I have already got one ear done, and I wanted to come back and show you how I do the other one. So, and I've got it all the way round and up to this part. So all we're going to do is just going to take this ball of yarn and, well, finish this part because it unfortunately came unrolled for a second. So I just laid it to the side. Okay. Do one more little pass there. Okay, so we're at the ear, and I'm just going to take it around in between the two. Ooh, little chick decided to come out and play. I'm making those as well. Okay. So I'm just going to bring it around, push it down to the bottom, and then just repeat all the way up to the top. Now I could have done this the other way and cut out this middle and wrapped it like I did the face, but I don't want to do that with this one. If I make another one, I probably will do that just to have a little variety within the two. And just keep going until you reach the top, and then at the top we'll have to glue it to it so it doesn't, unravel and come apart and stuff, and unfortunate stuff like that. Now I will go ahead and say, if you live somewhere that stays like hot and sunny all the time, and you set the wreath outside where it's going to get hot, the hot glue will eventually start to melt, especially if the sun just beats on the wreath. So I would recommend using something other than hot glue in that situation. For not just wreaths, but for anything that sits outside on the front porch or on a porch or on a door that's uncovered or gets beat on by the sun or whatever. I didn't think that through when I made my first lighthouse wreath, and it literally fell apart because the hot glue kept melting. Because it was on the back door that does not have a porch, so the sun continuously beat on it, which melted my glue. I learned it the hard way. But that's okay, because sometimes you don't learn until you've tried and you make a mistake, and then you just keep trying. That's how we learn. It's also part of crafting. Okay, almost at the top here. I'm going to take a few more swipes around here. Now I'm going to add some glue to this part right here, this top section. Right through there. So this will just stick to that glue. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off there. Leave a little bit of a tail because there is a little spot here I'm seeing gray and I'm not liking it. So we're just going to shove this on there. And that little fluffy part to our ear. There. Okay. Now our head is wrapped. I did leave this part here. Not sure if I'm going to cut it off and just wrap this part with yarn or what to do with that. I'll come back to that part. But we have a head ready to roll. So, next, will be our body part, or the body part of the wreath. That sounded better. So, same thing, we're just gonna take this and attach it. Now this one we're going to do around all four. So I'm going to knot it here, double knot it. So I could just hold and wrap. The bunny did not take as much, the head did not take as much yarn as I thought it would, which is great. But this part will probably take at least the rest of this one and maybe another whole one, if not more. Because it is 14 inches and we are wrapping this tightly around this wreath form. And this part will probably take the longest because we're just wrapping yarn around a wire wreath form. And I'm just holding this other side when it wraps around, so I know where I've been, where I'm at. Just trying to, help myself along a little bit. Putting it together, making sure I've got it all covered. Which is hard to do on circular surfaces like this. Especially because the inner circle is smaller than the outer circle, so it's kind of tricky sometimes if you don't hold it, because then you never know if you've got it wrapped completely or not until it's too late and then you've already cut it and finished. So I'm just going to hold it while I wrap it so it's easier to do. If you have a yarn like this one, I recommend making sure that the fur part is up when you wrap it around. Oh, little knot here. See if we can get that out. There. Yep, you just saw me knock something in the floor. That's okay. Okay, so I am almost halfway through and I've come to the end of my first thing of yarn. So you can attach these together many different ways. You can tie a knot on this one that's already around it and just start a new one at the same spot. You can use pipe cleaners or zip ties to zip tie them to it. I'm just going to tie a knot in these two ends, the one that's around it and my new one. So it has a little knot. Pull it tight. Then when we wrap it around, you'll see this little knot, and you just push it down, hold it down. Huh, now it's invisible. You don't even know it's there. Can't even feel it. You can, if you're making these, just connect them any way you can. I have found it's easier for me if I just tie a knot in it and just keep going. That could be because I'm used to like crocheting and stuff. So I'll just tie a knot and connect my ribbons or my yarns and keep moving. Well, that's how I started crocheting and tying my knots. And then you'll just continue working until you get all the way down to the beginning. And you might not need as many things of yarn as I'm using. It really just depends on how thick the yarn is that you chose. Like I said, I originally wanted the chunky yarn, like the big thick pieces, but for some reason that is not what I bought on Amazon because I couldn't find what I wanted in the stores. So mine is like that thinner, like fur ribbon, or I don't know why I keep calling it ribbon. It's yarn. Mine's like that thin fur yarn, but it actually is going to end up perfect because now it looks like a really furry bunny. So win-win, I guess. And I am continuing to hold it down and pull it tight as I wrap it around just to make sure I get all of it covered. Alright, so I'm almost done with the wrapping on this part. So I wanted to show how we finished this off. And in case you're wondering, no, I haven't made another one of these and then just decided to show you guys. No, this is the first time I've made one of these. So we are making this together. And I'm trying to keep this as close to live without actually being live. I haven't decided on if I wanted to do maybe a live session or not. just so you could see like my progress and the steps that I take and stuff like that. If you would be interested, leave me a comment and let me know if that's something that you would want to see, or if I should just stick to videos like this where I just craft, edit the video, and then I edit it a little bit later. Okay, so I'm going to leave quite a bit of the tail because I'm going to wrap it around. Let's see if we can wrap one more time. Yes. I'm going to wrap it around, and then I'm going to tie a little bitty knot right here. And one of these. Maybe. It's easier to do when you're not filming yourself. I never realized how much I talked to myself when crafting until I started videoing it. I'm like, oh my goodness, all I do is talk. Okay. Alrighty, look at this. We now officially have the bottom of the bunny done. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not done, but it's wrapped. So, pluck my yarn to the side. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get some zip ties, and we are going to zip tie our bunny head to our bunny body. Once I find my zip ties. Of course, the only zip ties that I can find are my reusable ones, but that's okay. I'm going to flip these both over. Okay. So there's where we're... Okay. Even though this one's reusable, I am going to cut this so it doesn't, you know, stick out anywhere, which does, you know, kill the whole reusable effect, but that's okay. Got plenty of them. These scissors used to be good at cutting tiles. Let's see. There we go. 1 and 2. We're just going to shove that. Okay. So we have our little bunny body. He, of course, is not complete yet. I'm going to add a big bow right here in the center. Big, big bow. Okay, so I've moved so I can put this on the wall and show you step by step how I make my ribbons or my big bows. So let me open up these packages. Always one that I struggle with opening. Never fails. I don't care where they come from or what. I'll never fail with struggling. Okay. So let's look. Let's see here. So my light pink is a little sheer. So I'm going to put that one on the top since it's more like see-through-ish. So I just let the bottoms, or let the whole roll just hit the floor. Picked it up, pretty much threw it in the floor. So I'm going to take my first ribbon, and I'm going to make me a loop. Just a regular loop. Now I'm going to pinch it. Now this ribbon, of course, one side is glitter, the other side is not, so I'm actually going to make it a little bit of a bigger bow so I have a little bit more of a tail. Okay, that looks better. So I'm going to flip it down and then bring it up. And then pinch it. And I'm going to stick my fingers in each side to make sure they are even. Now I've got one section. Now I'm going to come back and this way, so it's backwards this way. So I'm going to pick it up, flip it over. Same thing, I'm going to pull it up, check, make sure it's at least both fingers, or one finger width, or even with the other finger. I'm sorry. And then we're just going to flip it over, create us another loop, pull it up, just a little bit more, and now we have 4 big sections of our big pretty bow. Okay, now I'm going to cut a little bit off of here. Now this is the ribbon from Dollar Tree, but it is the wired ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and get a pipe cleaner. Over here. Okay, got a pipe cleaner pretty much in the center of the pipe cleaner, center of the bow. Got it tight. I'm going to flip it over and twist it just once, because I'm still going to need to add the other section, but this is just to hold it so it does not come apart. Okay. Now we're going to make this one. This will be the exact same way as we made the other one. So we're going to create us a loop. Same thing. We're going to pull it down and then flip it up. Pull until they're about even. Pinch it. And pull it up. So it's about even. Okay, close enough. And then this one flips over. Okay. I think I made it bigger than my other one, which I did, so it'll just end up being in the back. Not what I originally wanted. So I'm actually just going to make it a little smaller. So we're going to pull a little bit from here. Pull this ribbon a little bit. Make it smaller. And then this one, we're just going to undo. And pull it up. And the back. And okay, that's closer, so we're going to just call that done. Okay. Now, got my 2 ribbons. So I'm going to undo this one twist on my pipe cleaner. I'm going to set this bow. Yeah, I'm just going to set this one top. It actually brings it out a little bit when I set that one on the top. Some more flare, more color. Take my pipe cleaner back through the center of my 2 bows, or 2 ribbons. 1 big bow, 2 ribbons. Okay, fold in half, twist it. Okay, see that? Not coming apart. And what I like to do, since it's wired, you can manipulate it. I like to have the colors kind of like coordinating. No, that's not the right word. Alternating. That's the right word. So, I like my ends to be at the bottom. Should be another end here somewhere. There it is. So I push my ends to the bottom. And then we'll just coordinate or alternate. We got purple or pink. And do the white, pink. Sometimes it's easier just to get it on the product that you're attaching it to and figure it out from there. So, I think the way I'm going to attach it is I'm going to twist it one more time so it's up and down. I'm going to push it through the center of the wired ribbon, or the center of the part that we have covered. And let me turn this around. So it's in the center here, and in this part I'm just going to wrap it around, pull it tight, give it a couple twists. Okay, now flip it back around, and then you just manipulate it whichever way you want it to look. That's the way it's going to look. And since it's wired, you can just manipulate it and twist it whichever way you want, and it'll stay. I'm just loving that. It's hard for you to see, so I'll just give you a close-up in a minute to see it, but it's super cute. So, I'm going to dovetail my ends. So I'm going to fold my ends in half, and I'm going to angle it upward toward the fold. See that? No, you can't. I'm sorry. So, you can also cut from the fold angled down. That also works. Now that we've got our pretty ribbon, let me try to give you a closer look. So there is our big bow. And here is our little dovetails that we made. We're still not done with it. Okay, so we have a little bit more to add. We need to add our feet, so I'm going to go put some hot glue on our feet and add them to it. But we also need to figure out how to add a big cottontail. So let me get the feet and we'll glue those on, and then we'll figure out the tail together. Okay, so we're going to add a foot here. hold it, make sure it stays. Now, these are the feet that I bought in that pack of like 10, I believe, from the Dollar Tree. If you do get this pack and you use hot glue, be aware that this will get really hot. Like, not the whole wreath, but this little foot will get very hot. Okay, put the glue on it. We're going to try to make it as even as possible. But make sure we're not gluing it to the wall. Okay. Alright. Now he has feet. Oh my gosh. Get on the side. Look how cute. Oh my gosh. I'm loving this. Okay. Now we just need to add a big cotton tail. So I think I'm just going to use the yarn that we had, that we were using to wrap it, and create like this big, kind of like pom-pom ball, I guess, with it. I'm just wrapping this around 4 fingers. I'm not counting how many times I wrap it. I might do a little bit more because that looks really small. I think that's just about perfect. I actually did not make that as a pom-pom ball like I originally planned on it. But I'm going to take me a big thing of yarn here. I'm going to wrap it around it. And I'm going to tie it in a knot. Okay. I don't think that's going to be big enough to tie it around it, and it's not, so that's okay. I think we might try. Yeah, so I'm going to... Okay, so what I did to get my cottontail to stay is I took the piece of yarn that I had, that I tied it together with, and twisted it. I stuck it through the wire here, and then I put the other piece to the other side. But I'm still going to add some glue underneath it to hold this in place. Alrighty, there's that. Now, I did have a little bit of that yarn. So I think what I'm going to do is this part that holds my pipe cleaner, I'm going to go ahead and cover this with the white yarn. Because I didn't cover it earlier because I didn't know if I was going to keep it. I think I'm going to go ahead and cover it. So let's move back to the table. Alright, so got my pipe cleaner here. I'm going to leave this here because that's how we're going to connect it. Hang it. I'm sorry. I just cannot talk tonight. So I'm going to take this yarn. I'm going to tie this little bitty knot. Same simple little knot that we've been tying. And I'm just going to wrap the yarn around this excess gray piece. Around the back one more time. Okay. Now I'm going to take me some hot glue around the back. And hot glue that down. I'm going to tie a knot in it right here. This is just my preference. You don't have to tie a knot here, but I just like knowing that it's not going to, you know, fall apart. It's not going to come undone. And if the glue just kind of fades a little bit, it's not going to cause any problems. Get my scissors. Cut that. Hot glue. Be careful with that part. That part will be super hot if you touch that glue. I speak from experience. And then we're just going to make sure everything else is tight. Okay, so I'm going to take this. This is that Flowers and Gardens like flower pot I got. And instead of making it into a wreath like I originally said I was going to, I'm just going to make it into this really pretty like flower arrangement to sit on the other side of the mantle. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, it might be too big. I'm going to cut off some of these on the bottom, like these little stems, make it a little shorter. And then cut the names off. I'm not stick knitting yet. I'm just going to lay that right there. See if that's how I want this to lay. I'm thinking we'll go dark, then light. Then we'll add another lighter Tweedia into it. Then we'll add some of the lily. I think I'm going to just take these all apart and just stick these in here one at a time instead of just a bundle. Yeah, I know that might make things more difficult for me, but I kind of like making things difficult. Sometimes the more difficult you make it, the better it looks in the end. Even though it's hard on yourself. That makes sense. I hope it did. So let's take these ugly tags off. Okay, so I've already shortened this one, so I might just leave it. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it in a bundle. Okay. We're going to start with that one in a bundle. And I left the plastic over the floral foam to make it look a little bit better, and so it's not as messy. Okay, so I started with our tall, dark Tweedias, and I moved into some short lavenders. Then I've added my lighter color Tweedias. Now I'm going to add my lilies. So when you pull them apart, you'll have this really pretty like flower floral arrangement type thing. And I'm not making this, you know, permanent right now. I just wanted to know what it would look like right this very moment. So it is subject to change. I didn't even glue the floral foam in there because I want to be able to change that up as well. Okay, so I found out how I want them. So I took it all apart. I'm going to put my white lilies in here first. And I'm going to spread them out. I'm just going to shove them apart. And all of these other ones, I'm going to insert one at a time. So it's not one big bundle, it's several different ones. You know, I don't know how I did this, but I have somehow misplaced some of the flowers that I just bought. Literally just bought them and can't find half of them. But, you know, whatever. We're going to work with what we've got right now and make it pretty and leave it at that. And if I find them, great. I hope I do. And if not, well, we'll just use them on a different project. That's what works here at Rebecca's Corner. We just use what we've got, and we misplace something, we use something else. Or we work with what we got, and then we come back and we reuse what we lost. It's a different project. Now these are the Dollar Tree flowers, so they're not the biggest bundles and are not like in the greatest shape, but what we've got is what I want to work with. Let's put one of these here. I'm trying to make it where you can see it. It's probably not as visible to you as I like to think it is. So I apologize in advance if it's not like the best angle. So we're just going to continue like mixing the darker colors with the lighter colors and the Tweedias in with the lilies and the lilacs and lavender. But you just kind of make it your own. Mix things up. Change things around. Add a color here, take a color away. You might want it to go from like all dark to all light or vice versa, and that's fine, you know, do you. This is just one example, and this is just to give you an idea of what you could do, how you could put them. Really dark corner right here, so I'm going to line that one up. And I have another whole bundle of lilies that I haven't used yet as well. Also a whole other bundle of Tweedias that we've got just chilling. Since this side is mostly dark, we're going to add a few of these like lighter Tweedias to it. So it's right here. think that's where we're gonna leave it. So just a quick little flower arrangement with our lilies front and center, and all of these just kind of jumbled around them, which is what I wanted. And if I decide to change it out, all I have to do is remove the flowers and replace the piece of foam, or flip the foam over, and done. That's it. And there's the back of it. Not as pretty, but it'll sit on the mantle anyway, so there's that. Alright, so next is going to be our Easter rail sign. I was going to paint it white, but I don't have a lot of purple, so I'm going to paint it purple. Mix things up just a bit. So we're going to paint this really quickly. I might decide to paint the bunny white. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so I did one quick coat of the purple. I did not paint the middle because the middle will be covered with deco mesh anyway. So it's really just the top part that's going to be seen. So, got my top done. Now I'm going to go get my white paint and paint my Easter bunny. Really quickly, and hopefully without spreading purple. Oh no, it's shedding. Okay, so we're just going to continue to spread to paint our little Easter bunny here white. She doesn't have a bow, so I might decide to give her a cute little bow when it's done. I don't know. Just depends on how this looks when it's done. Now, I've never done one of these rail wreaths before, like ever. I saw someone else do it on YouTube for either Christmas or Valentine's Day. I can't remember. Thought it looked neat, but could never find them in my Dollar Tree until this past weekend, and I was like, ooh, I want to try that. Hey, you don't know until you try. It doesn't hurt to try, at least once. Okay. Got my Easter rail sign painted. While that dries, I'm going to cut my deco mesh. So, I'm not quite sure how many I need. You know what? I might just use the rest of this purple here and then see what we've got. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to cut 6-inch pieces since it's 6 inches. You can do this various different ways. This is just a new way I've been cutting it. So I get my cutting board out. And I'll lay my mesh kind of across the edge around it. I'll get my rotary cutter. Cutting it this way is also how I sliced my finger a couple of weeks ago. When I was working on that cross. So, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I don't know exactly how many I need. So I'm just gonna chop away until I run out of the purple. And I might decide to add another like really pretty color into the mix. Here's another way I have found works as well. Sometimes it causes more fraying, sometimes it doesn't. Here's another way. So take whatever you're using to measure. This is half of a paint stick, which paint sticks are 12 inches. This is half, which makes it 6. And you fold it in half, or you fold it around it, like so, to reach the end. And then you're just going to take your scissors. Make sure they're sharp scissors. That might be part of the problem on this, but sharp scissors, take it and just pull it up. And you just cut across. And then you do the same thing on the bottom. You just take it and cut across. Which cuts them all at the same time. It just doesn't leave much to it. You're just gonna roll up each end. Have this cute little bow. And I'm going to hold that in my finger because I'm going to cut some pot cleaners down to size. Cut them in half. Okay. Then you've got your cute little bundle. Like I said, I don't know how many I need. I only cut 5, so I'm definitely going to need to cut something else to go with my purple. I might just use white and do like a purple and white little sign. And this Dollar Tree Deco Mesh, I love that it's cheap. It's just sometimes it frays so bad. But for the price, you can't really beat it. 3. Just cutting the even amount right now. 4. And then this one will give me number 5. Okay. If you were selling these to somebody, I would recommend using something other than, you know, a pair of scissors to cut the deco mesh because of the fraying. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up rolling these last 3 with you. Well, the last 3 that I've cut. Like I said, I don't know how many this will take. It will probably be more than the 12 I have cut, but that's okay. We're going to roll this one real quick. I love making me some deco mesh wreaths, but I absolutely hate how bad they fray. Like, it bothers me so much. Okay, so I'm going to start with the white. I'm just going to set it in between my 2 rails. Then I'm going to twist. Tell you what, y'all, I have no idea how it got purple in the back, but whatever. So I'm just going to put this on here for now and see how many I would need, because it's looking like we might have to do like 2 or 3 whites, then a purple, then 2 or 3 whites, and then purple. Hope that's not the case, because I don't have that much purple. But if I can crisscross them all the way across, it might be okay. Leave that there. I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing here. I'm just sticking the pipe cleaner in between these rails and just twist it on here. In between the 2 rails. Do a couple really tight twists. Then I'm kind of scooting it a little closer and laying it kind of across the other ones, kind of in like an X pattern. Right here, see? Kind of in like a little X. So we're definitely going to need more. I can already see that. Kinda wish I'd bought some of the purple at the store. I literally had it in my basket and put it back. Like, no, I'm not gonna need all that. I already have purple. And take it, stick it in between these two. This might not be the way I make it either. Got a few ideas I'm gonna try. So, how we're coming along. Looks really cute. Okay, so looks like we are close. So I'm gonna scoot all of these down a little bit because I have one more purple that I can use before I cut some more. I want to look and see what I have that I can work with. Sometimes it just takes putting it together, looking at it, and be like, no, I don't like that. Taking it apart, trying it again. Okay, so I kind of like the way this looks, and I kind of don't. So let me try something else. I got another thing in mind. I'm going to take all of these off of here. It would probably just be easier if I untwisted them all at the same time. Now, what some other people have done is they group their colors together. So they would do one bundle of all of these colors in this thing, which is fine. It just, to me, that takes up more deco mesh, and I don't have any extra purple laying around, so we're just going to untwist all of these. Okay, so now we know that way only got up to like here, which is close. So let's see if we can do this sideways. Well, I might angle them a little bit to kind of make them look like they're, you know, filling up when they're really not. That one must have been the first out of the bunch. I might not use that one. I might just go back and recut it because that one looked awful. I had it frayed so bad. Why that one just... All the others still move. Even after I tightened it. That one just like, nope. No way, Jose. Okay, y'all. I have changed my mind once again, and I think this way I want to leave it. So, I've attached all of my purple ones that I have up top on this middle row. I'm going to use these bottom two rows, or this bottom row, I'm sorry, to attach all of my whites. I'll end up having to cut more, that's fine, in between these purples. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Is that going to look right? Yes. Yes, it will. Because they're angled. And they're pretty. I'll scoot that way. And then I got the bottom. I'll scoot this one over a little bit. All it takes is just some quick thinking, some easy maneuvering, and then you have it. And then I'm going to do one more white one. Let me find my... and cut it without accidentally cutting my little bunny over here. Yeah, I think this might be my longest video. I'm not sure though. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be my longest one, because this is the most I've ever done in one video before. Okay. Now, the middle row is a little noticeable. So we can either do one of two things. We can leave it, which I think I'm going to leave it for now. Kind of squish this all together. Make this look like it's one big bundle. Hey, look, it's not as noticeable. You just got to play with it. And then I'm going to take my piece of twine. I'm going to cut. I'm going to find a way to hang it. Okay. Oh, wait. I'm mistaken. Okay, so instead of using my staple gun, I'm just going to use hot glue, and that'll be how I fix it. How I attach my hanger to it. My twine that I dropped that piece in the floor. No, here it is. This piece. Okay, so while my hot glue heats up, I've decided to use hot glue instead of my staple gun. I want to make me a pretty little bow on my bunny ear, right here. Like a little shoestring bow. Tilt the scissors down, create this cute little tie. And then I'm going to tie that, or I'm sorry, I'm going to glue that in place when it's done. My E did break. I don't know how that happened, but I moved it and my E broke. So I will have to be very careful with how I attach my string. And I think I'm going to attach it all the way down here at the bottom of the letters. So that way it hangs a little bit better. A little more stable, a little sturdier. And then of course I'm going to glue the E a little more so it's okay. Okay. Then I'm just going to come right down the R. Like, I'm serious, this top part of the E literally fell apart in my hand, but just hold that in place while it glues, or while that glue dries. Okay. Now we have our little Easter rail door hanger. That's cute. I'm not gonna lie, that's really cute. Better than I expected it to be, honestly. Okay. Now I'm torn on what to do. I do have another cross wreath that I will be doing. I'm not going to do that in this video because that would take forever. But I am going to make another cross wreath. And I will do a video of that. That'll be uploaded within, I'm hoping to have that by next week. Which, like I said in my other video, I only have one day a week I can craft. And so I want to try to get as much done as I can in regards to spring and Easter and all that good stuff. Okay, that is a wrap on today's spring Easter crafts. I hope you enjoyed at least one of these items in my video today. If you like what you see, please hit that like button and let me know which craft you liked the best. Was it the bunny wreath, the rail wreath, the picket fences with the Easter bunnies and the cute little baby chicks, or was it the flower display we did together? I think the bunny would be my favorite. Like my overall, like, absolute favorite. I think it's my bunny. But let me know. If you like it, once again, please hit that like button. And please consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. I would love to have you join me on this crafting journey and become one of my craft besties. Leave me a comment. Let me know which one was your absolute favorite one tonight. Don't forget to subscribe and stop by next week because I'm going to try to get that rope wreath, or I'm sorry, the rope cross wreath finished and recorded by next week. So stay tuned for that one. I'm excited to see how that one turns out. But thanks again for watching. Bye.